Action!
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Chicago Reacts Movies and TV. I am Zach, an actor here in Chicago, soon to be worldwide. Stay tuned for that. As always, on my left and your right, I am joined by the ever-brilliant, the always talented, the one, the only.
I'm Michael, everybody. I'm also an actor here in the city of Chicago, and we are finishing the extended version of The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring.
Part 2, baby.
Part 2. Yeah, we got through the first half. Hey, for those watching on Patreon, you get the full thing, unedited, clipped together. All of us in our glory, loving this film as much as we possibly can.
We're vibing.
So go check us out on Patreon. Thank you to all our Patreon supporters if you're watching this. Also, if you're watching this on YouTube, hey, we're probably live on Twitch, so go check that out. Bada bing, bada boom.
Every single day.
Yeah.
So
go check that out. If you're watching this within a couple hours of it dropping, we should be live.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Any notes? Any notes?
No.
We do have another beverage this time, of course. Yes. Cheers.
Tink. And yeah, we didn't want to. No branding, so we should be in the clear.
We do have some snacks as well, so you may hear the occasional crunch,
the occasional slurp.
Mm-hmm. All right.
With that said,
I think it's time to embark with our fellowship.
Yeah.
What do you say, Mike?
Let's do this.
All right.
Have you ever caught anything like that?
No, but it's badass.
Well, I think part of it is because the moth is CG, so he's not catching anything. He's trying to leave room for them. But I mean, you also don't want to crush it. But
right.
I don't know that I would ever think to catch a moth like that because it could easily fly out. Like there's a hole down
there. but that's how he's so quick, and he was able to calm the creature. It was like he cast his little Skyrim shell. He caught it and then cast his little like calming spell.
Speak with animals.
Yes. Yes, exactly. And then right back down into the depths of hell we go. I mean, so and very fortunately for the future of this, turns out trees actually are living beings in this world and took offense to this, which is a big reason for the inevitable.
In the books, this isn't Arwen.
Right.
It's a different character. But I do love how they gave Arwen additional scenes and taking over this character. Like they were really good about trying to add in as stronger female roles where they could, because the book really doesn't have it. So that is cool that they were able to do that. Yeah. Even though obviously the world could be much more inclusive.
Truly valid point, of course. But I also think it like very much adds to this. It adds so much more weight to me to this love story, and then even going into the second film of like Aragorn's true compassion for Arwen, even despite his experiences with Éowyn in the second film, and making him understand the connection that he has with Arwen, in an even deeper level.
What are you doing? The race is still out there.
Oh yeah, Sam, let's continue to scream knowing that they are very close by. Yeah. This is so great too. In between the trees, the creeping up of them. Like they look so close.
The hooves hitting the ground. I'm just like hearing the hooves. The hooves help with the pacing though, because you hear Arwen like tell her horse to move faster, and then the hoof pacing pops up. But there's just so much. I just think like the Foley work is pretty good.
Yeah, Aragorn would probably be a goner, man.
For whatever reason, for the longest time, I didn't realize that they said something there.
Yeah. So
I
give up the halfling she-elf.
Yes.
Let me just move a little faster, Rays, if you want the boy. And then this cracks me up how the Rays, instead of just going to the other side of the river right there where it's safe, they decide to all
run down the river.
Yeah, start running down the river.
Well, it's coming so fast. I wonder if they're trying to like, get some distance and then curve off.
And
But,
it does take some time to completely turn a horse around. But still, I always thought that was a very it would look awesome shot wise.
Well, I mean, it looks cooler if they get swept up by it.
Gandalf.
Yes, I'm here. And you're lucky to be.
Rivendell's all warm. It's very soft. Like when every character almost has this like soft, very subtle halo around them. When they're in Rivendell, it's just the elves, man.
Embrace the power of the ring, or embrace your own destruction.
Classic bad guy motif. Like as you've got the good guy like on edge, about to kill him in your hands, like I'm gonna spit a bunch of philosophy at you now, and like they just give those like real cheesy one-liners, like embrace the power of the darkness, or suffer for all eternity, or and then just like real casually just whip him aside. Saruman might have for 1 second been like, maybe I should look at his eye line because he's clearly looking at something.
Frodo! Sam, bless you, you're awake!
Sam has hardly left your side.
We were that worried about you, weren't we, Mr. Gandalf?
By the skills of Lord Elrond, you're beginning to mend.
Welcome to Rivendell, Frodo Baggins.
Thank you, Agent Smith. Again, just like this is kind of like their last sense of innocence and purity is at Rivendell too. So it's, yeah, baby, sexy slow-mo over boy. Yeah, my brother was the Aragorn fan. I was the Legolas fan. Yep.
Oh, my brother and I were opposites.
Oh.
Look at we fit together.
And now I'm just a Gandalf fan through and through.
Yeah.
Slash Sir Ian McKellen fan. Sir
Well,
Ian.
when my brother and I played the third Return of the King, the video game, he was Legolas and I was Gandalf.
Well, Gandalf was OP in that game.
I know.
Once you got the
staff just blasted off stuff. That was the best. I loved it.
Yeah, dude.
Men are weak. The race of men is failing. I was there 3,000 years ago.
Destroy it!
No.
Isildur!
You little
It
bitch.
should have ended that day, but evil was allowed to endure.
All because of Isildur, we're here.
No strength left in the world of men.
What a grudge,
Yeah,
well, I knew his great grandfather, and that guy sucked. So I don't really think men are that cool.
yeah, men are.
Your time will come. You will face the same evil, and you will defeat it.
So I always thought too that Aragorn and Arwen had a little bit of a history before the interaction where she comes to see Frodo.
Yeah, they do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just make it. I think it was your comment earlier about that's the first time we see them on screen together.
Yeah, but it's not. But they have history.
Yes.
He got history. Her dad is like, yo, dude, back
Daddy
off.
Elrond, man.
Yeah, he's like, back off.
Daddy Elrond, dude. He's like, he will go Agent Smith on his ass. He will multiply himself into 1,000 Elronds.
Bring forth the... It is true. Isildur's paying.
Oh, yeah. Yes, if the Eye of Sauron wasn't on us already, let's go ahead and...
The ring is altogether evil.
It is a gift to the foes of Mordor.
The One Ring answers to Sauron alone. It has no other master.
He is Aragorn, son of Arathorn. You owe him your allegiance.
Frodo's like, what? Wait, what?
Wait a second. I've been hanging out with the prince this whole time. I've been hanging out with the king of Gondor.
The ring cannot be destroyed, Gimli, son of Gloin, by any craft that we here possess. The ring was made in the fires of Mount Doom. Only there can it be unmade. It must be taken deep into Mordor and cast back into the fiery chasm from whence it came.
This is also really cool, like how they actually like casually just kind of share information with each other. Because the one who's in Gondor
Or not
is
so casually.
yeah, or not, yeah, sure. I guess I'm
They
saying
pretty intensely.
yeah.
It is a barren wasteland of fire where no evil sleeps.
But like, yeah, none of them would really know. But Boromir's been in Gondor the whole time, saying like, no, I've seen this, and like we haven't been presented that piece of information.
I know how insane it is that what you're proposing.
Right, and it's a very cool way of saying it while like presenting some new information geographically that's like relevant to it. Which is cool.
I will be dead before I see the ring in the hands of an elf.
And thus started the greatest friendship in cinema ever. His heart broken was sewn back together.
I will take the ring to Mordor.
Span.
I will help you bear this burden, Frodo Baggins, as long as it is yours to bear.
If by my life or death I can protect you, I will. You have my sword.
And you have my bow.
And my axe.
Yes.
So, quick disclaimer too. As a kid, when I saw this movie for the first time, I didn't see it in theaters. My dad bought it on DVD, brought it home, and we had a family movie. And I genuinely thought in my brain that when Aragorn and Legolas and Gimli all said that you have my sword, you have my bow, and you have my axe, I genuinely thought that they were donating weapons to Frodo.
Yeah, you could take my sword.
Yes.
My bow.
And
Also an axe. You should be able to wield all three of those at the same time.
Yes. So I thought that this was Gandalf and Frodo going on a journey, and that all these weapons were going to be donated to them.
Cool sword and a bow and an axe.
And I, being none the wiser as a kid, just genuinely thought this is the coolest thing ever, and that I too would have volunteered to be Frodo in that moment, so I could wield all.
I get all these weapons. Yeah.
So yeah, just had to share that with y'all because that's a genuine memory that I have the very first time watching.
If this is indeed the will of the Council, then Gondor will see it done.
9 companions.
It's a dream team right there.
You shall be the Fellowship of the Ring.
Oh, so classic.
I do have to just make a really brief note here. I did watch some between our last recording and this one. Did watch some like behind the scenes stuff. I had to this past weekend. Have you ever heard about Jake Gyllenhaal's audition for Frodo?
I think that sounds familiar that he auditioned.
Yeah. It was a disaster. He had just, I guess he had just done the movie October Sky, which was a very well-known film, and supposedly auditioned for Peter Jackson, but really knew like nothing about the script. And I guess the original audition was like just basically react to finding the ring.
Yeah.
And then there were some lines, and I guess Jackson told him like, whoever your agent is, fire them because they didn't tell you that you're supposed to have an accent. And they didn't tell you like what this ring means. Cause I guess Gyllenhaal just like walked in and just went like, oh, like didn't realize like what it was.
Oh, shoot.
So yeah, that's Jake Gyllenhaal's story of auditioning.
Oh,
I do not want that power. I have never wanted it.
You are the last of that bloodline. There is no other.
that scene is huge. that scene is huge for the buildup of the rest of the scene. Oh, I'm actually pretty upset that they cut that because that Aragorn knows that, and that like the sword can be reforged. Like I guess there are other scenes where he is actively turning from his fate.
Yeah.
So I can see where like this is another scene showing that he is turning from his fate, but it also shows that he has the ability to reclaim it at any point. It isn't lost. It is there for the taking. The sword is there. I do think it helps explain, like gives him a little more backstory of like he fled, he was like in danger.
It's a very simple scene.
Backstory.
Yeah, and maybe the only thing that I would say might be getting a little bit old for a theatrical release at this point is there has been a lot of exposition on behalf of Elrond, like in the last, basically throughout Rivendell. So maybe they felt like I know too that they really wanted to make the ring and Frodo's journey the A plot, and they didn't want anything to
which in the book, you could argue Aragorn's journey is, I mean, still maybe not. It's just significant.
Yeah.
I mean, it is much more. It's still very, very significant in this story, but yeah, I can see where it wasn't totally needed. And this is the Fellowship. Like we pick up that arc for him more in the two,
starting in the Two Towers, and then
into obviously Return of the King.
Right. So maybe that was the whole point, especially, excuse me, with the theatrical release was they wanted to truly prioritize that. Hey, this mission, this is the A plot line, and we want audiences to know that and know that yes, this ultimately becomes about Aragorn, but that very much is the B plot of the overall trilogy.
Yeah, I mean,
and that was Jackson's choice.
I would say Return of the King is pretty. Well, the ring is still priority but you still have Aragorn. Like those are the two big stories.
Like that image gave me chills as a kid, dude. I had so many nightmares about Bilbo's face right there.
It is really cool to see.
Looks it's very Gollum like right there.
Yeah.
It's very
that's so creepy.
I'm sorry I brought this upon you, my boy. I'm sorry that you must carry this burden. I'm sorry for everything.
Oh, in home. Never mind.
Setting out on the quest.
Never mind.
I also just like love how clean they look right now. Like leaving Rivendell, the greens on their clokes are so like
so good.
Frodo's got
fresh.
This. Yeah.
They're looking
Bro.
crisp.
Let's go to Mordor.
Mordor, Gandalf. Is it left or right?
Left.
I don't even think we see this.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, so good though. We decided to lead them over the rock.
Oh yeah. What an epic shot.
Gandalf, we could pass through the mines of Moria. My cousin Balin would give us a royal welcome.
No, Gimli. I would not take the road through Moria unless I had no other choice.
Gandalf knows they awoke something deep in the mines. Does he know that all the dwarves are dead? And just like, I'm not going to say anything about it?
So,
or is he like...
Wait, how? So Gandalf knows that they awoke something within the mines, the Balrog, but what? How does he get that information? Is that from the Hobbit? Is that from the journey there? Or is it from when he's prisoner of Saruman and they know that? Like that he overhears that, or?
Well, I don't really remember in the books if there's an explanation. I know in the movie when the storm pushes them off the mountain,
right?
We hear Saruman say, like, you know what lies in the, you know the dwarves awoke something deep in the caverns.
Yeah. So, but Gimli's
Or do we
complete
know-
ignorance of it, though, is like, because you would think that Gimli would know something about the dwarves in Moria.
Sorry. Gentlemen, that's enough.
Gentlemen. It looks so good for the time. It's
I know.
insane. And then the way they do that wraparound helicopter shot.
Yeah.
We must take the pass of Caradhras.
Yeah.
That looks fun.
They apparently used like a giant prop to
get that
sell the
look.
perspective on this. I saw a thing on this. Like supposedly this ring was like
The
massive. Like, and that's why the chain sounds so intense too.
Yeah.
Like,
But that's so cool. I mean, it adds the weight of it.
it really does.
It's so good.
Jackson just for every single shot of this film knew exactly what he wanted.
Should suffer so much fear and doubt over so small a thing. As you wish. I cannot.
Frodo's like eagerness to grab it gets me all the time though. Did you hear that also Viggo Mortensen supposedly like wore that fucking sword everywhere?
Yeah, he wanted it to be like he always wears it, so he's got to be that familiar with it.
Yeah.
I think Sean Bean hiked up to that mountain too for that film day.
Good for him, man.
Yeah.
Good
So, Gandalf, you tried to lead them over Caradhras. And if that fails,
looking like almost directly at the camera. This is so it's like Saruman is like directly imposing himself like on the audience. How did they carve that like trail? Did you see that? Like they're literally blanketed in like this tunnel of snow. Gandalf must have used some like magic shit with his wand to like push the snow aside because that was like perfectly carved out little path. Also, do you think? I wonder how they filmed this. Like at the edge of the mountain like this. I wonder if this was like a.
This might have been a set, but I don't know.
I would assume so for this
because
one
I feel
particular.
like they can't actually have
Right.
much of a drop off. And they probably carved all that snow.
Mhm.
Like they actually carved a path, and they had a section built up that Orlando Bloom could walk over.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would imagine this is a set.
Yeah. This is also such an awesome scene of like showing Saruman's effing power, dude.
Yeah.
I don't blame Frodo for wanting to go to the mines.
you fear to go into those mines. The dwarves delved too greedily and too deep. You know what they awoke in the darkness of Khazad-dûm. Shadow and flame.
Bell roll.
We will go through the mines.
So be it.
He made it out of that mountain quick, bro.
The walls of Moria.
Dwarf doors are invisible.
I love that check-in with Gandalf. Also, it's been 40 days, so now Frodo has spent a fairly considerable amount of time with the ring around his neck.
Yeah.
We are seeing in subtle ways, sort of. Even in Rivendell, like him kind of hiding it from certain people, Bilbo, and it's starting
We
to.
haven't seen it really start to take a hold of him.
Right.
It's a riddle. Speak friend and enter. What's the Elvish word for friend?
Mellow.
Melon.
Frodo, little cocky bitch. Little cock. Oh, I'm gonna solve the riddle.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's a tomb.
like I only ever remember it when I watched the movie. I think it just gets overshadowed by the Balrog. And I'm like, oh yeah, I guess there's this monster, which I remember seeing like a toy for it, which I think was when it was just the Fellowship. But as the series went on, the fact that this creature exists was just like swept away.
You fight him in the Two Towers video game.
Do you?
Yeah.
And fouler things than orcs in the deep places of the world. Quietly now. It's a 4-day journey to the other side.
Ford.
But this is such like perfect high fantasy, like long epic journey. Now we're doing some dungeon delving.
Right.
Just fought a boss.
They just got really lucky that they
like,
so happened.
This feels like such a great D&D campaign.
They really do such a great job, though, of the reason why the loss of Gandalf the Grey wears so heavily is like literally this fellowship is led by him, right? Like without him, they would not have been able to even make it to the bridge of Khazad-dûr, right? Like,
so it does sort of set up Aragorn as a clear number 2. And
well, Gandalf's at the front and Aragorn's at the back.
Yeah, that's true. But there's even like more conversation. I think even before they head into the mines, like if anything, like, well, I guess I think actually they do say that before he leaves, he says you must leave them now or something like that. But we'll find out for sure. I think there might be a line like that. Okay. We'll see. We're about to see it in the next probably 30 minutes.